Happy Monday! Today we have some fun new photo tips and tricks for you. And one of these is one I've never even heard of, but I met with the advisor at Northwood High School who also teaches photography, and she shared these fun tips with me. The first one you'll hear directly from her, and she's gonna share with you how the littlest thing can make the biggest difference in the type of photography you have in your book.
So one of the things that we're talking about is how to get the action, right? So even if somebody is sitting at a desk writing, drawing at their computer, instead of getting them from behind, getting their shoulders, getting what's on the computer, come at their front, get the front or the three-quarter view, get their hands and their face, working on the computer, drawing, so that you can get whatever action, even if it is minimal, and get their facial expression and being engaged in what they're doing.
In addition to this great tip, she also taught me how to make your own softbox. The pop-up flash on the cameras that you use are not bad, but sometimes the light can be kind of harsh, but you don't want to go without a flash. So she suggests taking a tissue, folding it over the top of your pop-up flash, and just use a rubber band to hold it down. And now when your flash goes off, you'll have a much softer and easier light without so much harsh shadow. Now let's look at where you take your photos. I've got some students here from Edwards Middle School that are going to show you the difference it is when you take a photo with your students against a brick wall. Kind of boring. But if we pull them out here in the hallway and use maybe our portrait mode, maybe even not, maybe just like have that depth behind them without that brick wall behind them, and look at the difference. Such a more interesting photo, so much more focus on the students, and you don't have the big brick wall behind them. Do you have any great photo tips or tricks to share with us? Let us know. We would love to share them with everyone else as well.
At Chatham Central, we sell business ads to help fund our book.
The very first day, I send them home with a form that grants them permission to go sell ads and also lets parents know what their goal is. I also have on that form anything that they might need to know. Like somebody might say, my student can only ride with one other student in the car.
Each student on your book staff is required to sell a certain amount of ads.
Then they're able to earn their own yearbook, and if they're a senior, they're also able to earn a senior ad. Before students go and sell ads, I print a copy for them to take with them, all of the ones we've already sold to. And then they take one per car along with this travel log that says who they're traveling with, where they go. And the most important part I try to get them to do is the signature of the employee they spoke to, even if that person doesn't buy an ad. That way I can check behind them and see were they actually there and it kind of keeps them responsible. And if they don't bring these back 2 times, then they lose the privilege of leaving. So they bring it back.
A lot of people know a lot of people. We have a lot of connections, and we try to take advantage of those and sell to family businesses.
You have to go into places where you least expect to buy, like the smallest little holes in the wall. They'll almost always buy one.
We've sold them to just weird places.
I sold to a dentist's office.
Yeah, I sold one to a gynecologist's office. Was the only mail in there. It was real weird at first, but it's you have to go in places you've never been or expected to go in.
You know, some of my students have a lot of family connections. They know a lot of people with small businesses. Maybe their family owns a small business.
Introduce yourself, start off by saying your name, what organization you're with.
We try to stay closer because the farther we go, the less likely we're going to sell.
And I'll leave my name and number and information that they need in order to get in contact with me.
One of the most important things to selling ads is carrying a book with you. This shows them a reference of what they got last year.
I mean, just casual, you're representing your school and you're representing the yearbook staff.
We have a group chat. If we're in the process with a business, we'll say, hey, I'm in the process.
And that lets the yearbook students know that that's in the process, so it's not a repetitive thing.
As a business manager, I have to stay on top of my team members, trying to make sure they get me the artwork, make sure they've gotten the signature, all these different things.
A lot of the times we go in and their boss manager is not there, so usually what we do is on the back put their number down here just so it's much easier for them just to take a little picture of it.
This is the book that we use, and it's like a receipt book where we fill out the name of the school, the name of the business, the number, and the contact name that we have, and our address.
We get the customer to verify it, and then they get this top half, and we keep the yellow sheet, and it goes to our business manager.
This is the business box. In here we keep a note card for each business. Paper clips, we keep the receipt, any artwork that they send us, and also the receipt from where Miss Walden has receipted the bill.
I list the name of the business, the size they want, and the amount of money they paid for it. And then if they want to be billed, I put a little comment. And then I have one for every student. And then I keep a running total here with the amount that we've sold so far. But I put them in as decimals so that I can see at the end how many pages I'm going to need to allot to businesses. So our goal every year is about $12,000. I know that I usually get about $6,000 in senior ads. And I know about what I'm going to get from yearbook sales year to year. And so we need about $12,000 to make up the gap between what our total goal is. This year we are already at $13,500. We fluctuate between 350 and 400 students. We are an extremely rural community. It's not that we have tons of money everywhere. Our student population is not especially affluent as a group. That's one reason why it is so helpful for us to be able to sell business ads, is because we can keep that price affordable for them and still offer them a big book, a nice book.
Every year, Kim and I get emails from those of you running middle school clubs saying, I have so many students that have signed up. I'm excited, but I don't know what to have them do. What do I do? So the first thing I'm going to tell you is that the digital classroom is your friend, but it can be a little bit overwhelming if you're not sure where to look. So we've put in the 2023 resources folder a great list of all the 7-minute starters. This will give you some ideas of where to look and what to look for when it comes to teaching your students. Set up certain meeting dates where all you do is instruct them on how to do things like take a great photo, write a great caption, do a good interview. Don't be afraid to break your group up into smaller groups. So rather than one large club where everyone tries to do a little bit of everything, maybe you have a photography group, and then a design group, and a marketing group. Assign each of them a task that they can complete within their group. They may not need to come every week. Don't feel like you have to do it all, and don't feel like they all have to do it all.